I was having my submissive under my feet as carpet while I was doing something with my laptop. Get it, queen. It took kind of 5 to 10 minutes. I wanted to keep him like that longer, but I was thinking and checking if my partner is getting bored being a carpet. I was not talking to him and I was focusing on my things only, and he was lying down on his back under a table and smelling or kissing my feet. If I wanted to keep him longer, should I have continued even if he was getting bored without talking to him, or should I have verbally humiliated him sometimes? He likes to be humiliated, to keep him triggered until I wanted to have him. I would like your advice. Okay, love this question. Love this question. Part of a big allure for this, just like in any other submissive kink, is it's a form of complete presence, not having any responsibility, not having to think, not having to pan out or plan. You just respond. You stay present and you respond. You're less than, you're beneath, okay? All of that. You are no longer a human. You are an object, my object that I own. And this is where you are. You can't move unless I move you. You can't speak. You can't communicate. You have one job, and it's whatever the fuck I tell you to do. There's not a discussion. There's not a debate. You just be. You just be. Real furniture never gets bored or wriggly. Now, the key is, how do you keep your submissive locked into that space? You put a blindfold on them or a hood on them and they'll be instantly blissed out. Some submissives, you put them in a pose to serve as your ottoman or your footstool or your carpet, whatever, instantly blissed out. Others, they struggle and they fight. They fight the process. And so I think if you have a submissive who's fighting the process, you can infuse other forms of stimulation, like the one that she was trying to do with some foot worship, okay? Her feet are over his face and he's having to smell her feet and kiss her feet and lick her feet. So she was infusing some foot worship into this moment of pornophilia, which I think there's nothing wrong with. Okay, I think that if you want your submissive to serve as your footstool for 2 hours straight and they're totally blissed out, it's going to take time to get there. It's going to take some investment in building that capacity to engage in that headspace for that duration. So, as to her point, what could I do? I'm going to answer this in two different ways. Number one, she kept saying about she was afraid that he would be bored. I don't want him to get bored. I didn't want him to get bored. Ladies, get over it. This fear, and gentlemen too. I just hear it come up more with my femdoms, but male doms, this is for you too. Forget about that if they get bored. That's what a debrief is for. And you're perfectly capable of handling the feedback that comes in a debrief. Okay? You don't have to get in your head about it. You don't have to let it ding your confidence. It's just a conversation where you're getting data from your submissive you did not previously have. Okay? So if your submissive in a debrief says, yeah, I got a little bored here, and I have a couple of ideas how we can maybe fill in the gap. Or maybe they don't even have any ideas. They're just like, yeah, I just want to let you know that kind of lulled there and it got me out of that really juicy headspace. And so then you take that data and you re-strategize going forward. But I think this chronic fear of if they don't like it, if I'm not harsh enough, if I'm not dominant enough, if they get bored, it's hindering you from being dominant. It's hindering you from tapping into flow. And it's therefore hindering your submissive and their experience. So I think this whole fear of boredom, knock it off, cut it out. Anytime you hear that, what if they're going to get bored? Don't indulge that thought at all. Now, if you are reading, there's some restlessness going on, okay, where maybe they are fighting that headspace a little bit, then you can absolutely address it. You don't have to get them out of this objectified state to address it either. The key there is you talk at them, you don't talk to them. You see the difference? So you can engage and you can stimulate in a pornophilia environment as long as you do so without removing the objectification that's taking place because of the pornophilia. So really, you dominants, you have to know kind of where your submissive is at. What about pornophilia sinks them into subspace, and possibly at what point they could fight it. Mr. just goes, lousy furniture, it moves again, I'm going to break it. Absolutely, exactly. And Mr. is honing into what I was saying. He's talking at you, not to you. Absolutely.